For centuries, the crown has served as a symbol of power, reverence, and loyalty. Crown designer Tommy Kane will share with us how he designs and creates exquisite crowns for customers all over the globe.
Okay, this particular crown that I'm working on now, this crown is 35 years old. This crown was worn by a debutante in Mobile, and now her granddaughter is a debutante this year. And the designer that is designing her clothes wanted to use the same crown, but yet the other crown was a little aged. So we're going to make this crown, and we're going to antique. What we did here was we added some of the Navette stones here, marquee stones, and we did it in the old-fashioned way. We have the Tiffany settings. Through the center of this crown, we're going to add amethyst stones. And each one of the stones have crystals around it. Now, the stones that we use are Austrian crystals, and we import these from Austria, because as we put the heat to these stones, plastic, glass, those rhinestones will pop. So we have to use crystals. The crystals that we use are called Swarovski crystals, and you've probably seen a lot of these with chandeliers, small animals, any kind of creatures made out of Swarovski crystals. What we did with this particular crown is we took all the other workings off of this crown. She had some stars in here, and she had some very old stones that have gotten very old. So we took that and we kept this. Now, this crown was actually in the Birmingham Museum, and the grandmother decided that she wanted to use this, and then she is going to return this back to the museum in Birmingham in the modern state, which is 2 people in her family wore this crown. This year, now the crystals we use these are the Austrian crystals. These particular crystals, they've come out with a brand new crystal now, and they are 12-faceted, where the old crystals were 6-faceted. The way we get crowns in is through people with our reputation, which has grown, and designers. Designers design the costume, or if it's a king or queen, and then he uses a period. Let's say, for instance, this year, Napoleon and Josephine has been a big period to use for designing. And so I've been making crowns for identical with Josephine, and we go through the books and the old archives and the old pictures of Napoleon and Josephine, and we have duplicated the crown. And Napoleon, now the crowns that we've done for Napoleon, it has an antique look to them. But when a designer comes in, he really leaves it up to us to decide how to make the crown. He gives us suggestions and ideas, but then he really leaves it up to us. The way we solder these crowns is we use a torch and silver solder. Like, for instance, right here, what we've done here is we've taken this here and we use this solder. Sometimes I have to have 2 people. How I got into this business was years ago that I was a hairstylist for 20 years. And I used to do all the queens, and I've done a lot of kings, designing the hair. And after I've got into that phase, it just seemed like it's just real natural for me to make crowns, because I've spent 20 years in designing, going to school and training, art school, every kind of school. And when I got into this was just very easy for me. So when the queen comes to me, and I take and we measure her head, we take this band right here and we put this on her head, and we measure her head exactly so she won't have to use a comb. All crowns basically are made of this right here. And if you look at the base of this, this is the same thing goes around, and from this we build up. But the shape of the face is very important. The hairstyle is very important. Crowns are very important because you have different style crowns. You have tiaras. Tiaras are crowns that have a comb on the side here. The next crown that you have is a coronet. And a coronet is a round crown, and this sits on top of the head. The other crown that you have are full crown, and this crown goes completely around the head.
Tommy's wife, Tanya Kane, complements her husband's talents with the ability to design elegant earrings, necklaces, pins, and bracelets for Mardi Gras.
Well, I've always been interested in fashion, and jewelry was the direction we decided to go in. Jewelry is very important because it completes the look for a woman. Clothing begins with the clothing, the designing of the clothes, and what we do is watch the runways and the fashion and find out what the look is for each year, and then that more or less falls into place with the jewelry. Whether or not it will be large earrings, small, and the colors are very important. What colors the dresses will be, and we find out each year. You'll have your basic colors for gowns, the black and the red, but there's always that one color that they'll introduce each year that you'll see on the runway. And this year is more of the browns and the bronze color. And in crystal, it's called smoky topaz. And what we have done with a lot of our jewelry is incorporated that color, the smoky topaz. Designs, we have really over the years, one year it may be a lot of small designs, the next year the earrings will become larger. What's really nice now is the jewelry, anything goes. It's whatever the lady feels comfortable in, and the neckline of the dress, whether or not she needs a necklace. If the neckline is high, she just goes with a button-style earring. So it's anything goes. So we have found out any from the extravagant to the very small is what we can work with, and it really opens up our eyes and our mind to not give us limitations. And if you'll notice throughout, there is a variety of sizes that you see here. We use a lot of marquee shapes. A lot of the dresses, they'll have a particular design. They'll have a leafy pattern or swirl design, and marquees work very well with that. And that's a cut that we can purchase in crystal. We work a lot with ovals. Rounds we don't do a lot with. Number one, it's not very appealing on the lady's face. Earrings that come to a point make someone look slimmer and that type of thing. So marquees are very important in our work. And with the marquees, you have the different sizes and a variety of colors that they come in. We'll also pay attention in the fashion shows. We'll attend New York, go to New York where the fashion shows are. And there's a lot of difference in fabrics and also the shapes and the lengths of the dresses. And that is plays a very important part because not only is it just for Mardi Gras or evening wear, you have your cocktail and your party wear. And a lot of times you wouldn't want the very long, extravagant earring, more of a elegant look, which is not so much of the fantasy look for the